What's up? What's up, everybody? How you doing tonight? We are Brown Sugar Confessions coming to you every Wednesday night at 11 o'clock p.m. And you know by now you can only get us on Power 1017. And if you missed this show, make sure that you go to YouTube, like and subscribe to us where you can catch us in the full glory, acting the fool, educating, having the most fun as we talk about sex and relationships. I am Doc Val, your clinical sexologist and your relationship expert, along with these amazing, beautiful co-hosts that we have with us tonight. How y'all doing, ladies?
Hey.
Hey, well, I sound all Southern just then. I'm really not. But anyway, KD, what's up with you, love?
Hola. Hello. Konnichiwa and every other language I can't think of right now. How's everyone doing tonight? It is a fabulous night. We've had some very interesting things come up in the last few weeks. But here we are. We are still here. We're trying to figure out what's going to happen next. My family is all well. I'm very happy and I'm excited because spring is in the air. We are almost there. I cannot wait to go outside and just relax in 75-degree weather. So I'm ready.
Oh, girl, that is so true. But I'm not going to lie. I'm still enjoying this beautiful 75-degree weather down here. I'm still in Roatan, Honduras, and I'll be back in a couple of weeks. So, I'm looking like a toasted coconut. Girl, this sun's just baked me all to red brown. I don't know how else to describe it. But I'm still here having the most fun with my hubby down here. And Miss T, what's up with you? How's life in the ATL?
Well, by the time everybody hears this recording, we will have gone through False Spring Phase 2 here in Atlanta, Georgia. It was in the mid 70s here, which I enjoy because I don't like wearing closed-toed shoes. But I remembered we're still in February, so I wore them anyway. But I found out a fun fact today. You guys want to hear it?
Yes. What?
Okay. So according to lovehoney.com, Georgia is ranked number 6 out of 51 of the USA's sexiest states.
Ooh,
so we are ranked 5 for vibrators, 12 for bondage, 10 for strap-ons, 12 for anal plugs, 10 for role play, 13 for anal toys, and our favorite flavor of blue is strawberry.
How did they make these determinations? I have questions. So
yeah, I got questions.
You guys are number 10 for butt plugs. I kind of want to know.
I mean, and apparently, this is a new one. During the pandemic in Georgia, Atlanta, started using sex toys and played with themselves less and fantasized about others exploring sexuality and gender. So apparently you can scroll through lovehoney.com and find your state and it will give you these nice little facts about your state. So I found out that today and I was like, cool. And now we know.
Well, Miss T, the things that you educate us with is always mind-boggling. Who knew and who comes up with these kinds of studies and surveys? Because no one asking. Anybody asking y'all? Ain't nobody asking nothing. So I just want to know where it's coming from.
Right. DC was the number 1 for sexiest. And ironically, Delaware was number 2.
Hey! We ain't got nothing else here to do.
So apparently all the sexy people are hiding in DC and Delaware, just in case you're looking for somebody sexy, folks, out there in Radioland.
Me, KD are here in Delaware. We representing KD. No, they did call me and ask for us our opinion on that one. Hey, Delaware in the house for something besides Biden, but we ain't talking politics because this is
world's crazy right now.
We just not going there. We just need to say prayers for this world because it is ridiculous what's happening. But we're just gonna keep it moving. Miss Treese. gorgeous, looking like, I don't know, like an Indian.
Our Lady of Hotness, that's who she is.
You know, I'm like all browned up. How you doing, love? What's up with you?
I am good. I am using this cold weather. Well, fingers crossed, fingers crossed, fingers crossed. We've had fake spring up here. Look, the other day it was 55. I lost my mind.
Oh no.
I lost my mind. I was like, is it time for booty shorts? No. Tricked me.
It was 70 degrees here yesterday.
See, it's tricking us because look, I'm not going to lie. I went outside and was like, it's 55. Let me do this. I went out, I stepped a pinky toe. I went outside. I said, oh no. Shut the door, found my thermal socks and my sweatpants. I was like, you're not tricking me. But guess what? And starting in soon here, I think we're due for another big storm.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah. Look, when I tell you I'm ready for hot girl summer, I'm ready for it.
Look at you stroking your hair and stuff.
Look
at you. Hot
girl
you
like
summer.
this? I made it.
Girl. You made your own piece?
Yes.
Girl,
I'll send y'all the link.
Y'all better go on YouTube and look at Teresa's hair because she done made a whole.
It is pretty voluptuous.
Look, it's the dimple. Like it'll get you.
That dimple gets us every time. She got 32 inch, you know, looking like Brazilian with a little yaki straight going on back there. It is.
Look, we cannot afford to get in a war with China. I need my 1B yaki.
I mean,
can we all reach out to Biden and say, look, don't be like you messing with some black girls right now with our hair, and like please don't mess with China.
They're like, please, Petty Joe, look, help us to help you.
Exactly, help us, help you. Keep everything open, keep it copacetic. You don't want these problems.
Yeah, yes, we just want to enjoy life and have our best time ever. Could we please go back to having sex and relationships and really getting out of this war stuff? Because we just come out of COVID and we're not really mentally or emotionally prepared to deal with a war right now. That's just the honest to God facts. I'm not thinking about that, but we're not ready for it. But that's another show for another day when we get into the mental health expert. So we're just going to keep it stepping. So Therese, what's going on in your world?
Look, I want to get into it because we got a lot of stuff to talk about. So look, I want to talk about this British YouTuber who identifies as transracial. We're going to come back to that.
Wait, what?
He believes himself and identifies himself as transracial, as being, I don't even know what this is. Like, he says he's transracial and he identifies with Korea, but for real, we're going to come back to this.
Okay.
And he wants to have a surgery on his eggplant to reduce it. One, that's racist.
Reduce it to what?
I don't know. I don't know if it's racist, but I'm just saying, I feel
reduce it racist. To what?
He wants to reduce it to make it smaller because he has been fed this ideal where, you know, most people have been fed this idea that Asian men are smaller in the eggplant area. So he thinks himself as this British YouTuber who is, white male. We're just going to say it. And somehow he thinks he's walking around with a big mamma jamma and says, I want to get it reduced to the size of what a Korean person's is, because, you know, I identify as Korean and I want the full aspect. Look, just say you like kimchi and move on.
Right.
That's really about it.
Just say you like K-pop and keep it stepping.
Just keep it stepping.
Rachel Dolezal. She got everyone on the transracial.
But at least she did it right. We didn't even know she was who she was until it came out. This dude has just been like displaying it out there.
He's putting it out here, and he spent $250,000.
Jesus,
to get these surgeries. And I'm telling you right now, this man do not look like he's Korean. He looks like who was the person that kept having all them facial surgeries and ended up looking like a cat?
That woman?
Oh,
Well, I know who you're talking about.
What's his name? Yeah, I can see his face.
Yeah, it was real tight. Like that's how his face looked. That's how his face looks. And I'm like, all the Korean men that I have seen are, I'm not gonna say everybody's gorgeous because we know even America has ugly people, but
however,
not Delaware though. Not Delaware.
Y'all got
you had to throw that in there. You had to throw that in there.
We number two.
But yeah, he says that since he identifies himself as Korean, which I personally, for me, I don't like any of that because you are trying to take on a persona without taking all of what it is to be that culture. You are raised in that culture. You have nothing beyond what you see and what you like. Like, I like cutie stuff, so I must be Japanese. Like, no, you like cute stuff. Like, stop being dumb.
Man.
Like, your mother did not raise you. Your mother did not carry you in her belly and be like, you know what, you're going to be real dumb. Like, she wasn't in her belly saying that.
Pause.
No.
I'm just saying.
No. I gotta put my dream
Look at your mother. I'm sure your mother may be disappointed, so stop it.
Stop it. Please, for the love of God, just stop it.
Oh, like we already found out like a couple of episodes ago that the average male eggplant is what, 5.5 inches? Right?
Exactly.
So that's 5.5 across the board. No matter where you go, you can throw a rock at a dude and he's probably going to have a 5.5-inch eggplant.
Exactly.
Asia included. So what was he thinking?
He's going with that imperialistic view of an Asian body, right? Like Asian body, like he had surgery to be skinny. If this is not Western view of what another country is like you can't tell me nothing else. He's like, so I got to be skinny. I have to have really like slanted eyes. Oh yeah, reduce my eggplant size so I could really be like, yo, I'm Asian. Like I really want all my above average Asian dudes just to like come out strong. Come to my inbox. Come to my inbox.
First of all, mental health is real. And two, have you not seen what these Korea is like spreading out into the world now? These men are gorgeous. And I saw that article. Yes. That man ain't gorgeous. That man ain't gorgeous.
He's not. And it's sad. And I feel sad for anybody that hangs around him because think about it. If he was hanging around with Black people, Black women, would he be doing the same thing to us?
Mm-hmm. Probably.
Mm-hmm. Could be. Wow.
He's shaming BTS really bad right now. He's shaming BTS.
But I'm gonna we got to get into it. So that's my little hot tea.
That is, you know what? But that's a good segue into tonight's show, Trees, because I will tell you, it's about labels, right? And we're going to talk about labels tonight. And what we're going to really talk about is sexuality and sexual preferences. Oh. And we're going to go into 46 different sexual attractions and behaviors and orientations. We're going to go in that tonight, and just
we got enough time for all this.
We're going to hit the hot topic. We're going to go into the hot ones because the ones that people know we know. We're going to hit the ones that even kind of shocked me. I'm like, what? What is this? We're going to go into them tonight. But before we do, can I read to you guys a text that I got from one of our listeners? Because you guys know by now that we do this because of your encouragement, because of your love for us and your support of the show. So I'm going to read actually a text from a young lady. Her name is Kat. Mm-hmm. She is from Ocean City, Maryland.
Oh.
And this is exactly what she wrote to me. Finally turned into your show on yesterday and end up binging through 6 episodes. Ooh.
Wow.
I expected it to be interesting and informative, but the level of fun was unexpected. Really enjoying it. Keep it up. Wow. Kat, oh, right. That's why we do this. So I told Kat I would give her a shout out and thank her for that text. Right. We all let's send Kat some love. You want to know how to do heart things.
Hearts.
Kat,
Hearts.
I'm on my heart's almost there, Kat, but you know me. But yeah, so thank you for that text. And this is why we do what we do. Thank you for staying in our algorithm and getting those 6 episodes in. So, so if you haven't done so, people who's listening out there, go to YouTube, type in Brown Sugar Confessions, like, subscribe, and share this with your friends. Yeah, share with your friends and family, because we do love to have fun, but we're also informative and I think educational at the same time. And we like talking mad stuff. So why not just do it?
Y'all take breaks too, real quick. For the people that are binge watching, please take a break. Grab a snack and a drink, reset, because our conversations get kind of wild. You don't want to go through all of that and then you don't know what's going on anymore in real life.
Absolutely. And what I and Miss T, you always telling somebody to take a break and reset, but that's
yes. Because it's necessary. Y'all, please take breaks. Please take breaks.
A break. So let's jump into the Tonight Show, which is all about sexuality and sexual orientation. And there's 46 of them. And by the way, because we're not going to get through all of them, we're going to talk about this throughout the whole show. And hopefully you're going to identify with one of these sexual orientations. And because I believe that as we progress in our sexual presence, in our orientation, that we need to be able to have a community. And I think labels allows us to have communities. So let's jump right into it, okay? And some of these are really, really good, by the way. Y'all are gonna be like, what? So the first one I want to talk about, which I had never heard of, is allosexism.
Who?
Yeah, I know everyone's looking like, what?
Yeah, I saw that and I was like,
these are sexual orientations, okay? What you're attracted to, what you're romantically involved in, what you like, the orientation of your sexual being, okay? And this refers to is norms, stereotypes, and practices in society that operate under the assumption that all human beings experience or should experience asexual attraction. Allosexism grants privilege to those who experience attraction and leads to prejudice against an erasure of asexual people. Now, that's just a whole mouthful, right?
So essentially, it's saying,
I don't even know what it means.
Essentially, this is what I'm getting from it: is that if you're allosexual,
like, what?
If you're allosexual, you don't believe that there are anybody who is asexual. There are no asexuals in your understanding. So essentially, everybody at some point has to get turned on and attracted to something.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so you just went right into it, Ms. T, asexual. Asexual orientation is individuals who don't experience sexual attraction to any other gender. You might even hear them referred to as aces. But that is someone who does not have a sexual attraction to any gender, is an asexual. All right. And there's many people, even on TikTok, that are coming out and speaking that they are asexual. And I find that orientation is getting a lot of conversation out there. So that's what asexual is.
Oh, that was asexual for a minute.
Yeah, I think you did mention that on one of the shows that you thought you were asexual. Are you?
No, I figured that out pretty quickly. I think I just had terrible lovers.
Is that an orientation?
No, but I've figured out why I am the way I am, and I think this is without clinical or psychological therapy. But I think I'm closer to demisexual than anything else.
Okay, hold that. We're going to get into demisexual in a few. So here's another one. All right, androsexual. Androsexual.
Like androgyny?
Okay, keep going. Keep going. Anybody? Trees, KD, y'all got some ideas what androsexual is?
I mean, you said andro, go, and I thought 6 of 7, but that's Star Trek brain.
There's the
7 of 6, 7 of 9. I'm
7 of 9, Android, not androids, not androids.
That's where my brain went, so I don't know.
But like androgyny is like very, very close to seeming like you don't know, not that you don't know whether it's male or female, but I would say androsexual is like maybe you like people who blend in very well.
That's what I would guess, is that you are attracted to people who are androgynous or
right. Well, per WAS, and that's World Association of Sexology, I think where this list came from. And we're actually going to post this list on the website and in our Facebook group. And we're also going to post it on our Instagram, all Brown Sugar Confessions handles, by the way, you guys know that. But androsexual is an orientation that is for people that are attracted to men, males, or masculinity. This term intentionally includes attraction to those who identify as men, male, or masculine, regardless of biology, anatomy, or sex assigned at birth. So that's the catch with that one. So if it is a trans male and you find yourself attracted to trans male, then you will be considered androsexual.
Interesting.
So if it looks like a guy, you're attracted to it, you're androsexual.
Right. Androsexual, right.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, some of these I just had to look up. I'm like, and I'm in the business of sexology, but when they come up with these lists and they're constantly expanding them
and changing them.
And now we're at 46. I'm like, I can't even keep track. All right. So let's go to the next one. Autosexual. What is that? An autosexual. I thought something else, but it wasn't.
Turned on automatically?
Ooh.
Maybe.
No. Porsches?
No. An autosexual individual is a person who's sexually attracted to themselves. Someone's desire to engage in sexual behavior, such as self-touching, and doesn't determine whether they're autosexual, by the way. So it's someone that is sexually attracted to themselves.
So if I look in the mirror and be like, dang, I'm kind of hot, and then I go do some things, that makes me autosexual.
Well, I think it would mean that you're only maybe attracted to, and there's, if you're looking at the Kinsey scale, which we'll talk about one time on the show, we'll talk about the Kinsey scale of where we fit into this fluidness. And it doesn't go into like, are you only attracted to yourself? You only get self-pleasure because you're only attracted to yourself and no one else out there in the world attracts you. I think that's a very narrow percentage. I don't know that, to be honest. I've never heard anyone that identified as androsexual. Have you guys heard that?
I mean, androsexual or autosexual?
Autosexual. I
got a question. What's the difference between that and a narcissist?
Ooh, we need a psychiatrist on here to answer that one. I'm not a shrink. That's a good question. When we bring on someone that's a mental health practitioner, let's ask that question. So I want to write it down. Okay. That's a really good one. Better yet, if you're listening, and we know you are, do us a favor, like, subscribe, and answer that question Ms. T said.
Please, Ms. T got all the questions right now.
Yes, because what is the difference between that and a person that is a narcissist? That's a really good one. I don't know. All right. So then we have, well, everyone knows bisexual. A sexual orientation that describes those who are sexually, romantic, or emotionally involved to people of one or more gender. And so you could be, a bio or romantic person. And we'll talk about what that is coming back from break. Oh gosh, we can't even finish this topic up. We got to go to break, don't we?
Mm-hmm. It's bill paying time.
It's good. We got to go pay bills. All right, guys, don't go anywhere.
So it's bill paying time, everybody. So let's make sure you grab your drinks, grab yourself a little relief if you need to. Make sure you come back to us in a few moments, and we're going to get right back into the topic at hand on Brown Sugar Confession, only on Power 1017.
Welcome back, everybody, to Brown Sugar Confessions here on Power 1017. Great, glad to have you guys back with us. Hope you got your drinks, hope you got your snacks. We are going straight back into our conversations about our 40 plus different terms for sexuality. However, before we go into that conversation, Miss KD has a story to tell us.
Listen.
Mm-hmm. Wait,
so,
do I need my drink?
I don't know why I didn't bring a drink up here, because I should have one for this conversation. However, I'm just gonna have to go and drive. So there is this woman, very beautiful woman at that, who decided to surprise her boyfriend for his birthday, and she decided to give him a threesome. And that sounds like, oh, all right, that's pretty interesting, pretty progressive. So the fun part is that surprise. So she decided to go on Tinder. She searched for a young lady to join in on the fun, right?
Do tell.
And so she searches all over the place. She had very specific requirements. She needed to look like this. She needed to act like that. She needed to do this. She had rules in place, boundaries set, no kissing. Had all the things kind of ironed out, she thought, and everything was supposed to be set to go. So they all meet up, and she blindfolds him, handcuffs him to the bed.
Wait, who's blindfolding who?
So the girlfriend blindfolds and handcuffs the boyfriend to the bed, and they commence to have their special, try people moment, and they do their thing. And she removes the blindfolds, and he literally falls out. He is upset, angry, disturbed, and he tells her that is his ex-girlfriend.
Wait, what?
Ooh. His ex-girlfriend. This girl goes on Tinder, and apparently, she had posted like on social media a little bit too. So the girlfriend knew. She did not know that was the girlfriend. Ex-girlfriend. She had no clue.
Right.
But the ex-girlfriend obviously knew, and that was all
she knew.
She broke all the rules. She was like, no kissing. She said the girl didn't even, interact with her at all. She only interacted with the boyfriend, and she broke all the boundaries, and she knew something was off. But she did not know that it was her boyfriend's ex. Let me tell you something.
Wow.
Oh.
First off, I guess that's what happens. You got to be really careful with stuff like this in general. Because, if this isn't your thing, I really don't believe women should feel pressured to do it for the sake of just his pleasure. I think that you really need to be doing it for yours as well. But who knows? She didn't say she hated the experience, but she was definitely not happy to find out that she just had an experience with her boyfriend's ex. She was not happy. So let me tell you something. I'd have been fighting. And I don't believe in fighting for situations typically. Like, I'm not going to be ready to fight a girl over a dude. That's not my thing. But you knew what you were doing. You knew what you were doing. You did this on purpose. And if nothing else, when you got in the room, you definitely knew what you were doing. Like, no,
When he got in the room. Yeah, she knew. Yeah, that is that crossed all kinds of boundaries. The ex-girlfriend should have just backed out. But you know what? Here's what I'm going to say, KD, because this is not the first time I've heard of this happening.
Wait, what?
So
this is not the first time I've heard of this happening. And what I'm talking about is when they're surprising their partner with another person to come into the play. And it's a surprise.
Gotcha.
9 times out of 10, it does not go well because the other person that's been blindfolded or surprised might not be into this other person, might not like this person, might not be into the situation or scene, and it goes awry.
Wow.
I personally, when I have clients that are doing this type of play or want to have this kind of fantasy, I always say to them, you need to have the consent of this other party. I don't think the blindfolding and just, woohoo, here's someone else in bed with you and, let's see what's going to happen. It doesn't always work. It's not every person has that fantasy or not every person wants that fantasy. I think we may just assume it, especially if they're males, they want to have it, but not everyone does. And I think we have to be really careful with consent before we bring someone into our play like that. I think you got to do the right thing, ladies and gents. Whoever's listening, orientation, gender preferences, whatever you're into, get the consent because that was a hot mess. So did they fight and break up? What happened? Is there any story behind
so her and her boyfriend are still together. He has claimed plausible deniability. So he says he had no idea he was, because the question I have is, so how do we know this wasn't some, scheme in the background? Because he did mention he wanted to do this. So maybe he told the girl to be on the lookout or something. I don't know. That's how my brain thinks.
Wow.
Right.
That's how my brain thinks. So, but, he claimed he had no idea. He was completely shocked. The ex ended up starting to text him. She started texting him after this. So it turned into a whole mess. Oh. But eventually he cut her off, and now they say they laugh about it. I wouldn't be laughing. I'd still be ready because I'd be mad at myself. Like, you can't even be mad at anybody else.
Yeah.
But
this is where communication is key.
As of now, it seems they are still together.
I have no words.
That's crazy.
You out of words, Tracy?
That's it. You got no words, huh? You lost for words. You never lost for words.
I have no words. Like, what? Like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but if we're doing this and you're not even paying attention to me and all you're doing is paying attention to him, hair snatch.
Immediately.
What?
Expeditiously.
T.I. expeditiously. Like, and this goes to show you when your gut says something is off, don't play games. Do not play games with yourself. That is the truth. If it fell off and, she was breaking rules and kissing, like, first time you would have done some stuff like that. Slap. Girl, you know the rules. You know the rules. Like, we discussed this already and you hear breaking them. Something is off. You got to go because if you're not listening to me, you're here to disrespect me.
Yep.
Yep. Absolutely.
No, like, and everybody walked out of there. Nobody had a crutch or like a neck brace or nothing. Like,
dang.
They all live to tell the story. Like,
everyone lived to tell that story. That's a scene going awry. So
I don't even know if I would even want to tell this story.
Yeah, I wouldn't tell that story. I would chalk that up. That will be one of those things that only come out after 87 years of me being dead. Like, that's it.
Right. All parties have to be off the census before this story gets out.
Did she say 87 years? Oh, snap. Oh, that's an interesting hot topic. I don't have nothing else to add to that one. Just get consent, people out there. If you're going to play that lifestyle, make sure everyone's okay and make sure you know the players, obviously, right?
Hey, well, we did cover a couple of terms that we went over in the last half. We covered bisexuality, and we covered bi-curious.
Exactly. And we're going to jump right into orientation, because this show, as we mentioned, is all about those sexual orientation. Because, you know, there's so many. Every time you're probably open a new newspaper or seen an article, there's another orientation that's coming out. And, you know, I work in the field of sexual health and wellness, and some of these, you know, new labels, you know, I have to keep myself abreast with. So I'm educating myself as I educate you guys that are listening out there. So we're going to keep going on, because we're going to, you know, we don't want to talk too much, because that was a good hot topic though, KD. But we got to jump back into this. Is that all right?
We ready.
Let's do it.
We talked about bisexual. Now we're going to talk about biromantic, because this is about sexual orientation and your romantic affiliation. And biromantic is those who experience romantic attraction, but not sexual attraction to individuals of more than one gender.
What's the difference between the romantic and the sexual?
Well, that's the question that I have for this study that was put out. I think this is done by WASP, is what is considered romantic attraction? You like them, you want to go out with them, you like their company, but you don't want to go to bed with them, is what I'm taking away from the word romantic attraction. What do you guys think?
I think they buy me nice things.
I think they, so are they like
that's where the other half of the romantic the bi-romantic. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. You're romantically attracted to the fact that they take you nice places and buy you nice things. That's just me.
Yeah, because I feel like romantic kind of falls in with whatever your love language is, doesn't it?
Yeah, kind of. It's a weird one. I'm not really sure if I get the attraction part of this whole study that was put out, or not study, this whole descriptive of orientation that was put out. I don't think they really should have had it in there, but that's just me. Doesn't mean anything. All right. So we hear this word a lot, fluidity, right? And fluidity, of course, you know, and here's what I want everyone to take away from this as we're talking. Just because you might be bisexual today doesn't mean you're bisexual 10 years from now. Just because you're heterosexual today doesn't mean you're going to be heterosexual 20 years from now, and vice versa. You know, sexual orientation and sexuality, it changes, it's fluid. So you'll hear this word gender fluid or sexual orientation, fluidity. All of that means, you know, it's a flow. It might be today, but it might change tomorrow. So when we talk about this, that gives people permission to understand they have the sexual rights, and there is a such thing actually as sexual rights, to experience whom they are sexually, based upon their age, their lifestyle, and their orientation and preference. And it can change and be fluid. So just remember that as we keep talking about it, because that word comes out a lot. Okay. Here's one that Miss T talked about. I think you did, demisexual.
Yes.
So Miss T, yes. All right. So explain demisexual.
My understanding of demisexual is this is a person who doesn't have who has a sexual attraction to somebody they have a close bond with, whether that's like an emotional bond, like mostly like an emotional bond.
Right. Exactly.
It's like, you know, you want to make sure the person that you're going to drop your draws for is the person you want to drop your draws for.
Right.
If that makes sense.
So the good way I like to describe this is a person that's demisexual is not into one night stands. That's just an easy way to put it out there. You know, you have to have, if you're demisexual, you have to have a romantic or emotional attraction to someone before you share your body with them. And it doesn't matter whom you share your body with, you just have to have that romantic and emotional connection first. And I think a lot of people, and especially I think a lot of women, actually identify as demisexual. I hear them saying, I have to feel something for you. But I also find it quite unique, and I've heard men now actually saying that they also are looking for someone that they want to have an emotional connection to before they start engaging in any kind of, sexual relationships. Have you guys heard that more from men lately, coming out and saying that?
What? We're not sowing our royal oats no more?
Not a
Men are
solitary
growing
one.
up. Thank goodness. They're growing up a little bit. They want to have that romantic thing. And I saw one guy that talked about he was demisexual and that he was shamed by his friends because they, when he was younger, they were putting a lot of peer pressure on him to go with this girl or that girl or whomever. And he said he just didn't have the attraction, and they were calling him gay. They were calling him all kinds of other names. And he says, I'm not anything. I just need to have a bond. Like, oh, you just need this. And he had a really good story on TikTok about a male living a demisexual male presence. So I found that quite interesting. And I could also see if there's a young male that's in school or in college and, being bullied because he chooses not to partake in going from, partner to partner. I could see that being a thing.
Yeah, that happens more often than it should.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So we're going to keep on going here. Some of them we already know. So here's one I had no idea. Gray sexual.
Gray?
Everyone, if y'all could see us on YouTube.
You like people with gray hair?
That would be me. No.
You like the older, you like people of a certain age? Or you're attracted to people of a certain age?
All right. So a gray sexual is a term used to acknowledge the gray area on the sexuality spectrum for people who don't explicitly or exclusively identify as asexual or aromantic.
Boo.
Now, honestly, I don't know what the heck it means. It don't make no sense to me. I must have to read it 5 or 6 times to break it down. But I thought it was gray hair.
I like my definition better. I'm just putting it out there. I hope I don't offend anybody. I like my definition better.
Yeah, and it says many people who identify as gray sexual do experience some sexual attraction or desire, but perhaps not at the same level or frequency as those who identify their sexuality as being completely outside the asexual spectrum. So I guess for people to understand what gray sexual is, you really have to go back and understand what asexuality means, is what I'm really.
I think I get it. I think I've just kind of wrapped my head around it, and I could very
what
wrong.
Is it?
Yeah.
So it's someone who is not completely asexual in the sense that they have no sexual attraction to people. So I think that it's almost like people who have some attraction, some sexual attraction specific to very specific people, but they're not, they're not like overly attracted to like a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Or does that make any sense to you guys? So basically somewhere in the middle, they're not fully asexual, but they know that they're not like completely into other people. Like it needs to be something very special about someone in order for them to really be attracted to them sexually.
That still sounds like demisexual.
Well, I think it's a little different than that because demisexual specifically says that, or is kind of alluding to the idea that you need to be attracted to a person on an emotional level, like you need to be in love with the person. I don't think that's what someone who is gray sexual is saying. I think they're saying that they are just somewhere in the middle. Like they for the most part, they're asexual. They're not typically like looking at folks and thinking they're attractive, but every once in a blue moon, they have that person that really does it for them. And it may not necessarily be about like a romantic thing. It just is certain people just really get them there. That's
right.
what
Yeah.
Interesting.
It could be. So here's if you're listening out there, whether you're listening live on Power 1017 or you're on YouTube or our Facebook or Instagram, all Brown Sugar Confessions, make sure that you like and subscribe. But also, if you're not sure where you are in your sexual orientation, don't be shy about reaching out to me at Valerie at Swan Center. That's SWANN Center.com. And so that we could have a dialogue about where you're seeing yourself on the sexuality orientation spectrum. That's what the full thing is now, sexuality orientation spectrum. And remember the word fluid. It's like, wave. It comes in waves. It changes. It rides. It moves. And give yourself permission to just enjoy being a sexual person if you are a sexual person. Because obviously, you're not a sexual person. that's okay too. And there's a label for that as well. All right. So,
Dr. Val, I have a question.
yes, love. What, baby?
So I want to know if what I've always considered myself to be is on the list. Did you find me on the list? Because I've always considered myself to be trisexual. And
Trisexual. What in the world?
That's the other question I had. Thank you for reminding me. Because
trisexual.
Yes. So is trisexual on the list?
Let me see you know what? I don't know, but I'm going to look up, see if there's a trisexual on the list. I'm not seeing trisexual. So what is trisexual?
I'll try anything once.
Oh crap.
And we fell for it. God dog.
Oh my God. Look, I'm literally scrolling, trying to find trisexual. You got me. All right.
My question was kind of like KD's question. Like, okay, so they talked about bisexual, and then you have people who are pansexual. Well, like, what's the difference between the two? Because the way the article makes it sound is like, from my understanding, what we talk about for bisexuals sounds almost like pansexual.
Well, pansexual, and we haven't even gone to pansexual yet, so hold that.
Okay, I'll hold that.
Because we haven't talked about pansexual yet.
Okay.
Right? We're going to do a couple more, but make sure I go back to pansexual.
Okay.
So the next one is gynesexual, or like gynesexual. Gyne.
I can guess what that one is already.
What is it?
They
people who have lotuses specifically.
Yeah,
I'm gonna guess.
Yeah, they like the cooter.
No matter what their orientation, or should I say, no matter what their
biology
is. Yeah, no matter what their how they identify, they would still be interested if they have a lotus.
Exactly. That's exactly what gynesexual is. It's a person that is sexually or romantically attracted to a woman, females with femininity, regardless of their biology, their anatomy, or their sex assigned at birth. Much like
that's the opposite of what I thought then. That's actually the opposite.
Really?
I thought. Okay, yeah, that was because I thought that it would mean that they are attracted to someone who holds a lotus, irregardless of their orientation. But they're saying it's the opposite. Got it. Okay.
So it's the flip side of androsexual.
It's the flip side of androsexual. Yes.
Okay.
All right. So we've got heterosexual. We all know that one. Homosexual, lesbian. We understand though. Here's one that I don't even know how to say this. Libidosexual.
Somebody who likes a libido?
Okay. A term used to describe an asexual person who experiences sexual feelings that are satisfied through self-stimulation or masturbation. This label acknowledges that for some people, acting on libido, or AKA sexual feelings, doesn't necessarily involve sexual behaviors with others. Libidinous asexual. So that one almost blended with another one that we spoke on a little earlier, where you're into yourself as a sexual orientation. Mm-hmm. But if you're into just satisfying yourself through self-stimulation or masturbation, then you might be a libidoist asexual. Wow, the things that you didn't know that you're going to learn on Brown Sugar Confessions.
That's a mouthful.
That is a mouthful. A monosexual. A monosexual.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Typically includes those who are exclusively heterosexual, gay, or lesbian. Okay. All right. A broad sexual orientation that includes people who experience romantic or sexual attraction to people or one gender or sexual preference. That's the same thing as being a heterosexual, from what I was understanding.
Yeah.
You like one person, but maybe it's not. Maybe there is some fluidity in there. Okay. So, you know what? I know we probably need a part 2 of this show.
We definitely need a part 2 of this. It's about time for us to skedaddle.
Daggone, this was good. I mean, there's like 46 of these. Listen, here's what we're going to do. We're not going to go through all of them. Obviously, we can't. We don't have enough time. But what we are going to do is put them on YouTube. We're going to have the list. I'm going to actually talk about each one of them on a little separate little YouTube video for you guys. And I'm also going to share this whole article so that you can take a look at it on our Facebook and our Instagram. And we're going to hashtag it we're going to hashtag it Brown Sugar Confessions BSC sexual orientation. That way you know to go look for that. But you know who we are by now. We are Brown Sugar Confessions. It's live every Wednesday at 11 o'clock. Listen, we thank you for listening to us. If you want to reach out, Valerie at swancenter.com, email at brownsugarconfessions@gmail.com. And we all thank you for listening to us tonight, all these hearts from all these beautiful ladies. And we will see you next week only on Power 1017. Bye-bye, everybody.